I thought that it would be like lemon, where I could just put one drop in and it would just add a little bit of flavor. I ruined an entire pot of sauce that way.
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too.
Hey, Heather. So what are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about 2 truths and a lie. So for our listeners at home, I want you to listen to the statements I'm going to say, and you can start to think about which ones you think are the truths and which ones you think is the lie. Okay? So first up, we've got, did you know you can use your HSA and FSA accounts to buy doTERRA products?
Ooh.
Did you know that you can diffuse essential oils around pets?
Nice.
And last but not least, did you know that more oils is always better?
Always.
Always.
Yes. Okay, so hopefully the listener has an idea of which one it is, but let's go through them.
Let's do that. So the first one that we mentioned was that you can use your HSA and FSA accounts to buy doTERRA products. This is actually true.
Yeah, this is so exciting. So I think it's been a few years. For sure, the, what's it called? The Deep Blue Stick
Yes.
was the first thing that was approved for this. And so that came out maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It's been a while. But recently, so all that to say, for a long time, I thought it was just that. But recently, I saw on doTERRA's website and also on doTERRA's social media that they were talking about this. And the list is really long of products that you can use your HSA and FSA accounts for. So for people who don't know what HSA and FSA accounts are, they are medical bank accounts that basically you can put money in them tax-free. So you can like move money from your paycheck into these accounts and you don't have to pay taxes on them. And then a lot of larger corporations will even match what you put into them. So it's a really great way to set aside money for medical benefits. And then you can use them for all kinds of different things like going to the doctor. The HSA that I used to have, I could even use it for things like massages. But for a long time, you could not use them for products like essential oils. And most essential oil companies still do not accept or are not accepted by HSAs and FSAs. So the fact that doTERRA has been accepted by them and now has an extensive list of things that are accepted by them is just really exciting. And again, shows how much doTERRA has done to really test improve the efficacy of our oils. And if you're not familiar with this, every single oil of doTERRA's at the bottom of the bottle has a number on it. And you can go to Source to Me and see all of both the internal testing as well as the third-party testing that was done on that specific lot of oils. And it's cool to see that this is really paying off and more places are accepting it.
And it is accepted. However, I don't think you can pay with your card directly. So what you would need to do is basically then submit for reimbursement through your HSA or FSA. But the fact that you can get reimbursed for these products is very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll put a list in the show notes of all of the things, or we'll put a link to doTERRA's blog that tells you all of the different things that are covered by this. But it's pretty extensive. And definitely exciting. So save even more money. Like if you're a member, you're already getting 25% off having a wholesale account, but now you can save the tax dollars as well on them. So exciting stuff.
And I know for a lot of people, they will save their HSA or FSA, and then at the end of the year, they've got this money available that if they don't use it, sometimes it does not always roll over. And so,
that's FSAs specifically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So making sure that you get the most out of the funds that you've saved, go ahead and get some products with this.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not financial experts, obviously, so we're not giving financial advice, but feel like I probably should say that. But I will say that if you don't have either one of these and your company doesn't offer it, you can open your own, at least HSAs, and it's so well worth it. So consider doing that as well. Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is you can diffuse essential oils around pets. Now, Meg, I feel like this is one that has gone back and forth of being a controversial, yes or no, can we do it? In my household, we are a yes.
Yeah, so I think the controversy comes into what type of essential oils you're using. Because if you're using doTERRA oils, which are pure, certified pure, tested grade oils, then yes, you totally can. But there are certain rules that you probably should follow. So animals are very intuitive. They know what's good for them, what's not good for them. And so doing simple things like keeping the doors open so they're not locked in a room with a diffuser is a great way to let the animal's intuition, take precedence, and they can walk out of the room if the smell is too strong for them. But it's not going to, if you're using pure oils, it's not going to hurt or damage your pet's body. So like a lot of people say like, oh, it's going to put a burden on their liver or something like that. It won't. I do have a funny story though about animals and intuition, specifically dogs. So our dog Hannah, she was very hyper, but she was also an English Mastiff. So she was very big and her hyperness would break things, And especially, when people came over, we didn't want her to break their bones by running into them. And so oftentimes we would get out lavender oil. And as soon as she smelled it, she would run from it. And this was not a intuition, this is going to hurt me. It was a, oh no, you can't calm down my excitement type thing. And so we would kind of have to chase her to then be able to put the lavender on her. And within, a few minutes of rubbing it on her spine, diluted, she would be like, and like just relax, and so just made it so much easier when people came over to calm her down just a little bit. So just know their intuition also can work like that, where they just don't want to be calmed down, but they need it.
Well, and they have so many more sensory cells than what we do. So I feel like there are certain scents that my dog particularly enjoys. Madagascar vanilla is by far his favorite oil. You open that bottle across the room and he comes running and wants to smell it. Rose is another one that he really likes. If I put rose on, he is just following me around so close. That said, he's always curious about oils. And then when he gets close and smells it and realizes it's a certain oil, he'll start sneezing a lot and realize, oh, maybe I didn't want to be so close to that one. And the two that he does that with is On Guard and Deep Blue. So if we apply those, he'll come running. He's curious. And then as soon as he smells it, he starts sneezing and he knows to just back away because those are not his scents. Those are just a little too strong for him. However, to your point, like we don't diffuse oils and then keep him closed into a room. So he has never seemed to have a problem with just leaving if he doesn't like a scent. And I feel like I'm conscious of what I am diffusing, knowing that there's certain oils that he doesn't prefer. I have a steam mop that I will put different oils onto the cloth attachment. That is what is actually pushing the steam onto the floor. And I will be mindful of what oils that I'm using to do that, just knowing that there's certain oils that he's not going to prefer to be all over the house. But yes, he likes essential oils. You can use essential oils around pets. Again, you just need to be mindful of the purity that you are using, which is why we are only recommending doTERRA.
Yeah. And if you want to dive deeper on essential oil safety and animals, I highly recommend the Essential Oil Vet. And I said that, but it's really Essential Oil Vet. On social media, it's Dr. Janet Rourke. And she's got tons of resources. She does free classes all the time as well, and just a wealth of information where you can learn more and feel confident about using oils around animals.
Yes. All right. Last but not least, we have more oils is always better.
Always.
There are certain oils that, yes, the more is better to me, like lemon. And then there's other oils where more is definitely not better. Like, what is it? Summer savory? Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Summer savory in my sauce. No, more is not better.
Yeah, so I feel like this kind of carries over from traditional medicine, or even just like the way we do so many things in the non-holistic space, where if something feels good, then you just need to do it more, but you're not really addressing root cause. So like I've got a friend who has tons of aches and pains, and she thankfully is financially blessed where she can afford to go get a massage 3 times a week. But it's not addressing the root cause. And when you're using essential oils to address the root cause, you don't need to do more of the thing, And so, yeah, you don't need a lot of oils to make things better. Or like I, for years, was a headache sufferer and used Advil. That was my go-to. And depending on the day, like it's a miracle that I did not have a stomach bleed with the amount of Advil I would take, because I felt like I just needed more on certain days. Whereas now, if I can catch it fast, I might just have to apply the oils once and I'm done. I don't even have to keep on reapplying it because they're effective in small doses.
Yeah, and concentrated, so you don't necessarily require the same amount anyways. And I think that people are scared of diluting oils sometimes because they feel like they are going to decrease the benefits of it by diluting it. And that is not true either, because a lot of the essential oils that we apply topically, the molecules will flash off of the skin. And so we don't get them to be able to sit on the skin and absorb as long. Versus when we dilute oils with something like fractionated coconut oil, it allows that oil to stay on the surface of our skin longer so that it can be absorbed better. So dilution actually has a benefit too. But when we're doing that, we don't need to apply a whole bunch of oil. We just need that little bit. We can always reapply later, but it's always better to start with less is more.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think this is a lot where the myth comes into play that you shouldn't use oils internally. So I have a friend who's a certified aromatherapist and knows a ton about essential oils. But early into her practice with essential oil, she had a client come in who had blood sugar issues. And so she knew that cinnamon oil can help with that, or had read that cinnamon oil could help with that. And she asked the woman if she drank coffee, and she did. And she said, well, just add a drop of cinnamon oil to your coffee every day. And she was not using doTERRA oils. But also, she did not ask this woman how much coffee she was drinking. And it ends up this woman was drinking like 8 cups a day. And so she was using a ton of cinnamon oil and ended up in the hospital because her blood sugar just totally went out of whack. And so again, too much, not a good thing. Quality, not a good thing. But now this friend who is a certified aromatherapist 100% believes that you should not use oils internally because she had this one bad situation. But again, was it really a bad situation, or was it just the circumstances were bad because she didn't know all the facts?
Is the oil that she was recommending, were they even supposed to be used internally? Like, did they have supplement facts on them?
I believe they did. Because I don't think that she would have recommended it without that. But now her belief is that no essential oil should be used internally because of this one bad situation. And it's unfortunate because she travels all over the US speaking on essential oils. She is considered an expert in this field, but she had this one experience and now believes that all oils should not be used internally.
And so back to something that you mentioned earlier, doTERRA does extensive testing of their oils, and they have third-party testing as well. They are also being tested at a lot of universities at this point. And so oils and hospitals, thank you. So the oils that they have deemed safe to use internally all have the supplement facts box on the back. If it does not have that, do not use it internally. But if you are going to use an oil that has the supplement facts box on the back, still stay within particular guidelines. So if you're adding a drop to something, great, but remember it's concentrated. You don't need the 8 drops of something. And back to my original story of the summer savory, I thought that it would be like lemon, where I could just put 1 drop in and it would just add a little bit of flavor. I ruined an entire pot of sauce that way. So now, if I am doing cooking with oils, I will put the toothpick into the oil, stir it around into the sauce or whatever I'm doing, taste it, and then decide if I need more, because sometimes it doesn't even require a drop because it's so concentrated.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we kind of tackled 2 lies in this one topic. So the lies, just to be clear again, is more oils is always better. Not true. The other lie is that you can't use oils internally, which is not true. You can, but again, with these specific parameters, it needs to have the supplement facts box on the back, and then use it appropriately. Don't overuse it.
I feel like we covered a lot. So just to be clear, we're going to bookend back to the beginning of our 2 truths and a lie. Our truths were that you can use your HSA and FSA accounts to buy doTERRA products. You can diffuse essential oils around pets. Those are both our truths. All right. And so the third topic was the lie, which is the more oils is always better. So following the guidelines is important. Making sure that you're using pure essential oils is important.
Awesome. Well, we hope that y'all have found this to be a fun, different way to approach these topics. We hope you learned something new. If you think it would be helpful for a friend, please pass it on to them. And if you enjoyed this, we really would appreciate you leaving a review as well. It just helps other people find our show. So thank you so much for listening, and we will have a new topic for you soon.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.